The debate today is Saint-14 from Destiny 2 versus Chaos War Hercules and Marvel. Stipulations today, it's going to be one layer of high hyper, one layer of immeasurable speed, and of course one layer of hacks, right? It's going to be conceptual, we're not going both conceptual. So, I'm debating my friend Corin today. Say hello.
Hello.
And we're about to get started with the debate. So, Corin, you want me to start?
Sure, you start with AP first?
Okay, so Saint-14 scales the high hyperversal via scaling to Osiris. And Osiris? Okay, here. And Osiris can take attacks from Panoptes. And that Panoptes is the demiurge of the Vex, so he scales above all of the Vex. And the Vex have created a structure called the Pyramidion. It's infinite dimensional. So, let me go get the video of Osiris taking on Panoptes. Give me a second.
Hey! I can't stop it! Enough!
Okay, so here's the video, or timestamp, of Osiris resisting Panoptes' basically erasure technique. Now, here is something else I need to grab. Let me go and grab it. To prove that, like, Panoptes is the demiurge of the Vex. Now what I have to do now is, okay. Saint-14 room. Lol. Let's see. And here is Panoptes being the demiurge of the Vex, as he's the demiurge of the thought. And that the Vex's demiurge is thought. And Panoptes embodies thought, as he's the infinite mind. And that he scales to, he also scales to Atheon. And Atheon is also a demiurge for the Vex. So, so are we fine with high hyperversal so far? Or do you want me to get this out for Pyramidion?
This seems to be okay.
Okay. So, okay, so do we agree with my AP so far, or do you want me to drop the rest of the shit?
I'm alright so far.
Okay, so should I move on to speed? Or...
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so, Saint-14 is not bound by linear time. This is important because, he has his own personal timeline, which proves he isn't bound by linear time. Let me go get it. Sun dial type 4. Okay, so copy. Hopefully this is the right thing I'm using. Hopefully. If you have your own personal timeline, that means you're not bound by linear time. So he should be a measurable speed by default.
That's in this clip right here.
This is the transcript I dropped. But basically, like, Osiris talks about how he couldn't find Saint-14's final moment in his personal timeline.
So that inherently grant like a measure in this case.
Because linear time means you're bound.
No,
by...
I know, like, so this, like, this right here, like, what you're describing, that would grant them in Destiny, like, immeasurable speed.
Yes.
Like, that's, Okay.
Yes, Saint-14 has the light. He's a paracausal being. He's not bound by physics, which means he's immeasurable speed as he has
Yeah.
his own personal timeline.
All right. I was making sure I heard you right. That's all.
Yeah, so, okay, so we good so far in speed?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and get in your character scaling.
All right. Well, for AP, Chaos War Hercules, he scales to high hyperversal, and I'll get into why. So first of all, he was able to fight the Chaos King and actually damage him, and I'll be posting scans for that. So he was able to actually fight the Chaos King. Now this is important because the Chaos King was actually devouring the actual Marvel multiverse, and he only devoured 98%. This is due to the fact because he was stopped, obviously. Now this is important because in this actual comic, um, Multi Eternity himself gets summoned down, and we literally see him say that the Chaos King, if they were to fight, it'd be like fighting himself. And Hercules would go on to say, well, if the Chaos King wins, Multi Eternity would cease to exist. And we even see in this comic, this is the actual totality of creation itself. So it's not just an embody, obviously, and plus he's devouring like the multiverse. So now this is important because oh, and also eternity says like the Chaos King existed before creation even existed. So like before all that even existed. But anyways, this is important because the Marvel multiverse has consistently shown that it contains infinite dimensions. And I'll give some examples.
Well,
One,
just drop scans for infinite dimensions and we'll work from there.
all right, I got a few. So
Okay, let's go point by point through the scans, because I'm with you so far, I just need to see the shit. So, let's see.
the
What can
first
I
one,
say? I've had a pretty good teacher. He can't risk anyone with a hyper mind like ours who can observe the multiverse on infinite levels. Okay, so what's this first scan about?
well, that's Hercules right here, along with a kid, and they're like observing like the multiverse itself on like um infinite levels. And I meant to say,
It looks like that it's infinite 4D then. Well, I mean, is the multiverse itself supposed to be infinite dimensional?
well, yeah, that's what I was getting at.
Okay,
I
okay,
meant
good. All
that's
right,
still part of
so
my scaling.
all
Yeah,
right, so let's see. Remember, Ben, don't
because
let go of that line. My life is in
well, I meant
yours.
to like speak about multi eternity because multi eternity as part of the scaling, like
Well,
it's
okay,
actually
we can talk about it in a second. Just don't want to
all right.
stay on page with you regarding the skins. Let's see, space time. Let's see which. Okay, so what's the second scan referring to in the top right corner?
That's the second one. Reed, that's Reed Richards. He's like discovering like the fourth dimension right there, like as in spatial. And then the second one is actually connected. That's the second page with that one, and that's he's
Okay,
discovering that there's limitless dimensions.
okay,
The first
limit.
one's showing that he's referencing spatial dimensions. That's why I posted that first because that's part of the same thing.
Couldn't he be saying in this third scan here that there could just be a lot of dimensions, not that there's infinite?
Yeah, but that would support the infinite levels statement.
Okay,
Like you would, if
okay,
you,
so here. Let me read this one. Outside the influence of eternity and infinity, probably going back to the world thing, right?
yeah, and then like down in that third scan, it literally says infinity beyond infinity.
Okay, so go ahead and continue. I agree with your scaling so far.
All right. So yeah. Anyways, multi eternity um embodies the totality of creation on every level and like plane of existence, and I can post scans for that as well.
Please do.
All right, and I have more, getting a couple at a time.
Okay, so Okay, that's eternity, or is that multi-eternity?
Yeah, this is referencing like multi-eternity. Like you can
Okay.
like that's Lifebringer Galactus right here too.
Okay, so this second scan here. What's this second scan talking about?
Well, that's just like to show more of like the totality of the multiverse. That's like Lifebringer perceiving multi-eternity. That goes in with these scans right here.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the whole totality of, and this is like the seventh. Well, that one's like the one that like the Chaos King is devouring is the seventh like iteration, which is which the one I'm like arguing right now, like
Okay.
embodies the totality. Yeah.
Okay, so. Okay, let's go ahead and drop the rest of your shit, and then we'll go through point by point.
All right. All right, so my phone's buffering. Can you hear me?
Hmm.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, my phone's just buffering a sec.
It's fine.
It's taking
It's fine.
taking a second to fully load the picture.
But so that you clear with me so far, you're fine with my AP and speed, right? We want to go back to that later.
Yeah, and so far, like you're fine. Like I've proven, like it's
Yeah.
infinitely layered.
Yeah.
Like all right. I'm just gonna.
Yeah, I don't have any problems so far. It's just I'm wanting to see the scans. That's it.
Yeah.
You know it's fine if y'all text in the commentary room, right?
Like it's not one.
Okay, is it not working for you?
This fucking scan.
Okay,
I
I'll
get it
steal
to,
man.
like, up.
Alright,
Yeah.
I'll steal man. Continue on.
All right. Well, anyways, yeah, that's like multi-eternity is the totality of creation. Was what I was arguing. He embodies like all layers
Okay.
and levels of existence, and there's like infinite levels and limitless dimensions, as I consistently shown.
Okay, so I'm cool with your AP so far. Would speed just be scaling to the Chaos King?
I mean, there's more. I can add on a lot more consistency.
Yeah, but
that was
okay. So since he fought the Chaos King, we'll count it as your speed feed as well. So I can measure.
yeah, because I was gonna say that. Yeah, I was gonna say that would inherently, since he's like
Yeah,
really,
he'd have to be. So okay, so I'm fine with your AP and speed. Now, you want me to start with my win con, or you want to start with yours?
sure you can.
Okay, so Saint-14 has conceptual erasure / power null in 1 through a suppressor through a suppression grenade. What does Hercules have that can resist that?
So is this conceptual based?
Yes, it is. All of his hack skills to his demiurge hacks. We
Well, I
literally
would
see him
argue-
kill the enemies in the exact same way with or without an element.
Before I say anything, like, could you post that scan?
Sure, let me go get the suppressor grenade. Oh, looks like it went a little too far down. Okay, give me a second. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Anyway, where's my grenade scan? No, it's around here. Give me a second. Alright. Here it is. So, okay, so, don't let this come off as shotgunning, but Basically, I'm gonna drop 2 different links in one. Okay.
All right.
So, he has a suppressor grenade of the Sentinel subclass. The Sentinel subclass, basically all void attacks is conceptual in nature as it scales with the damage. And the suppressor grenade is conceptual power null / conceptual erasure in 1. So what does Hercules have to tank that?
I would argue, seeing as Chaos War Hercules was able to actually withstand attacks from the Chaos King, who by default, I'm going to argue should be conceptual in nature due to the fact he's the equivalent, if not greater, than the multi-eternity who embodies the concept of time.
Okay, are you saying that the Chaos King used like conceptual erasure, or that he can attack him conceptually?
I'm saying the Chaos King himself, in order for Hercules to even like withstand attacks or fight him, he would have to be conceptual because the Chaos King.
Okay, so I'm fine with saying he can protect his concept from being hurt, or that he can resist his concept being hurt, right? But me throwing a punch and then me erasing something with an eraser is 2 very different things.
Well, yeah, the thing is, like the Chaos King he was erasing like the multiverse,
right.
And he wasn't able to like erase Hercules, and Hercules.
Oh, you're saying he has conceptual erasure and it didn't work. Okay, never mind. Okay, so I'm fine with saying that he'll resist the conceptual erasure, but what about the conceptual power null? Because even if you argue that he has a resistance to conceptual attacks, he's still getting power nulled either way. So.
But like the erasure part, you won't be able to. You're cool with that?
It's a 2-in-1 win con. You're getting hit with both at the same time. So if you can resist your existence or your concept being erased, that's not going to prevent the power null, because we literally see it work on Guardians. So.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So we're on the same page. Just one last time. This is like
yes,
attack,
you're not getting conceptual erased, but your ass is getting fucking power nulled unless there's a resistance to it.
I mean, I'll be honest. Like directly, I don't have direct power null conceptual. I just have direct like conceptual.
Yeah.
Erasure and he has. Stuff
okay,
like
so since the power null grenade is a temporary grenade, I'll then move on to my secondary win con. To support the suppressor, is that like he's gonna get conceptually law manipped, and then he's gonna get his reality warped. With the shotgun, as again, it's a demiurge that can that can create laws and bend reality at the seams. I've already dropped this again for the demiurge above, so if you want to read that, you can. But basically, Saint-14 with his shotgun can basically just full auto spam reality warp and law hacks. Every pellet of every shell being fired is you getting hit with law hacks and then reality warping on a conceptual level. And Saint-14 has over 27 shells in his shotgun.
So it's you said law manip. I just want to make.
Yeah, conceptual reality warping and law manipulation is built into the slugs of the shotgun, and that this hack can be used by the very pellets of the slug, since they came from the slug. And Saint-14 has a full auto shotgun, so he can quite literally just spam his conceptual reality warping and law hacks. So he's quite literally getting hit over 15 times over and within a second by conceptual hacks. Even if it's not going to erase his concept, he'll still create laws to where he can't attack Saint, and his reality would be so warped to the point that he just won't be able to fight back because of how much he's getting hit with.
So you're asking me if I have resistance to conceptual law manip?
Yeah, because I'm fine with saying, right, that he has a resistance to his concept being erased. You've already proven that before.
Yeah.
But has he dealt with someone law manipulating and reality warping 50 times over within a second?
The only thing I will argue is, by default, I would argue the Chaos King, since he was wiping out the concept of eternity, he would have been wiping out all the laws and stuff too, and Hercules was able to still, again, not be erased by him on all them levels. But I can't give you the whole 50 times over in a second thing. But I can argue he should logically be able to resist that, like the law manip, because again, like multi-eternity embodies that, like the totality, even like the law and all that.
What about
And
being law manipped over 50 times over in a span of a second?
yeah, that's what I was saying. I can't quantify that. I can just prove like he can at least resist like a baseline level, not
Then
like
he'd
50
have
times
like
over.
a basic resistance. He wouldn't have a resistance to the
Yeah.
point that he can take literally so much law manip to the point that he's getting law manip over 50 times within a second.
Well, yeah, I was getting at that. I'm just
Yeah.
pointing out anyways. Like he would have some resistance. Just I won't be able to like quantify over 50 times in like a second.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And mind you, his reality is also getting warped too. Right, here's the perfect paradox. The shotgun itself quite literally has no origin, so...
Yeah, but would you agree though he would have resistance to like one basic
Yeah,
like a level?
a basic resistance. I'm arguing he'd just get law manip and reality warp to the point that like it would just fuck with this resistance to it.
Well, the whole thing, the whole 50 times in 1 second thing. That's the thing. What kind of I can't really get on with that. Like I can argue just a layer of basic like one hit law manip resistance.
Yeah. This is all one layer, right? But he's getting hit with so much of it that like it would just get through anyway, because not only does like he have durability negation with the light, or like resistance, he can essentially bypass your resistance and do the same fucking thing with like Bastion. So you want me to like get you like something talking about like Bastion's perks? Because there's a perk called like Breakthrough, where like it can get through your shields. And shields in Destiny can protect you against conceptual attacks.
If you wouldn't mind, I'd like to see it. Sure.
Sure. Hold on. Bastion. I'll need a second to go to the perks.
So I was supposed to be moving away, first of its kind, and I pay for this thing, and I cannot wait to get to my house finally, allowing us to get on his account rifle from both the PvP and PvE perspectives.
So, let me get you one part of the video. This is Bastion, where it just charges and then fires slugs that, like, fucks your shit up.
It definitely has.
Let me go find a timestamp where he, like, shows the perks.
Control the player to some extent. Main stick slugs. Interesting.
So, basically. Now, here's one part at the video where you fire 3 slugs, and that they each contain pellets, right? There's there's Saint's Fist.
3 spreads of kinetic damage, approximately 7 shot, and that's a shot shoots 21 bolts per shot. Bastion here, instantaneously using less rifle counterparts, as all of our other fusion rifles are only present in that energy slot. Now our barrel perk here is, or that barrel turner stability, actually increase of those numbers from these. You can
give me a second. I'm going over a PvP review. Okay, so now here's another part of that video where he like shows the perk Breakthrough. Wait, hold on. Okay, here it is. Oh. Sorry about that. Looks like the second link did not have the timestamp I wanted it to have, so I'll just get rid of this, if you'll excuse me. The third link is just showing Bastion firing 3 slugs in 1 round.
Alright.
Yeah. And yes, Saint-14 does have this weapon in the lore. He just gave it to the Guardian.
Alright. Well, to this certain extent, I don't have a necessary counter to this certain extent, like, given...
Okay, so, now, like I think I offered enough of a win con to, like, get around, like, essentially your defenses, but you can go ahead and give a win con for your character, since it'd be fallacious not to allow you.
Alright. Well, I would argue Hercules, he would use his shield of Perseus, which has consistently shown to petrify opponents from staring at it and turn them to stone.
Okay, so what are you gonna call it? Like reality warping? Is that what you're gonna call the petrification? So paralysis. Right? Okay, so
yeah, but I'll show you this. Like,
I'll grant you that like it can petrify you, but are we gonna decide to call it like transmutation or reality warping and turn you to stone?
Well, I mean, that's not necessarily like the same. I mean, wouldn't that
well,
be?
Well, you're being turned into stone, right? So it's clear transmutation. Yeah, okay, go ahead and drop the scan. Go ahead. We'll go over it.
I'm just saying, like, just to give context, I was just trying to give like some context to you of how it works. Like, he can do it in battle, and it's like his gear, and he can. All you had to. It's like how it works is it's obviously you don't have to like. I'm just asking a question. Like, are you're aware of like Medusa's head, right, from like Greek mythology?
Yeah, they're turned into stone. That's what we see in this fourth skin, right?
All these both. It gives like all these scans. Yeah.
So wouldn't it turn you into stone be transmutation? Or like just some form of reality warping?
Yeah, but wouldn't it fall under, wouldn't petrification be more like paralysis? Like, not necessarily, because it's not like really like...
Okay, so the term paralysis just means to like immobilize movement, right? Petrification means to turn someone into stone.
Yeah.
When you turn someone into stone, you're bending the rules of reality. So it's like, by definition, reality warping.
Yeah, but how are you exactly, like, how is that exactly affecting reality itself just by, like, turning a single person, like, to stone?
Because that's bending the rules of physics and turning you into stone when physics dictates that you can't be stone.
Well, if anything, I'd say more or less transmutation, not really reality. Like, it's transmutation, like it's similar to what, like, just to give an example of like what Deborah does with his spit. That's like, I'm not trying to give an example.
Yeah, so like that would still more or less work in a sect of reality warping with transmutation, because you're still bending reality, but you're allowing for equivalent exchange. It just the difference. It just like the thing is here, right? It just seems like a sect of reality warping to me. So wouldn't you agree that?
Yeah, but the thing is. Warping? Yeah, the thing is, petrification is a different hack than reality warping. Like,
it could be a sub-archetype of the archetype reality warping. You don't see people putting in subjective reality with reality warping, even though subjective reality is just another sect, right?
Yeah, in certain cases, sure, yeah.
Yeah, so like, why wouldn't the same persist here?
I mean, I was just kind of, because the way I looked at it is just like when you think of reality warping, it's a separate like category. Then like
no, reality warping itself is a broad hack. Okay, so you have different parts of reality warping, like say transmutation, where instead of bending physics, you're essentially cheating physics by just using equivalent exchange. You have subjective reality, which just bends reality to your subjective perceptions. That's just another part of reality warping. And then of course, well, basic reality warping, which is just altering reality to your whims, right? Could be subatomically, could be atomically, could be conceptually, right? But reality warping itself is either a basic form hack or just a broad word for a bunch of hacks that either have like a similar type of principle or just work the same way in general. So,
I mean, all right, so
like,
so what would you have? All right, so I would agree. I guess it could possibly be a mild form of reality warp, or like transmutation. So,
yeah.
What would your guy have for that?
He can tank attacks from the Vex. The Vex also wield demiurges that can alter reality, as well as create rules.
Like, how, like, so it can, like, he can tank stuff like that?
Okay, so everything in the verse has a demiurge, right? You exist in Destiny, you're part of a race. That race has a demiurge. The Guardian consistently takes attacks from basic tier Fallen, basic tier Vex, like, Hobgoblins, Minotaurs, and that the Goblin can even affect Dathian and turn him into a third-dimensional being rather than a higher-dimensional being. Back when he scaled down to, like, post main story. So, like, other races should be able to warp reality and, like, be able to create laws. So, like, the Guardian being able to take that on a daily basis is enough to present as a resistance.
Yeah, I would just ask now, would you mind showing the clip, please?
Osiris taking an attack from Panoptes. Panoptes itself is a demiurge.
Like, just to show that.
Yeah, so that was Osiris using the light. Right. You need to have the light or the darkness, or must have interacted with the light or darkness at a certain point in order to wield your demiurge as a weapon, okay? Panoptes, as an infinite axis mind of the Vex, is, in theory, a demiurge of the Vex, right?
Yeah, no, I'm agreeing, like, he can stand it, I'm just wondering,
Yeah,
like,
so I've already...
Okay,
so what are you asking for a clip of?
Oh, you already shown the clip above here, above these scans.
Yeah,
Like,
I've already dropped the clip. I've already dropped the clip for Osiris taking an attack from Panoptes.
Oh, so I wasn't trying to like.
Yeah, that also functions as a Hax resistance because because Osiris uses the light, and every other Guardian uses the light.
Yeah, and you said like, just to clarify, he could do this on regular basis, right?
Yes, this is very much regular for the Guardian.
Yeah.
It just, the difference is the Guardian knows how to cheat. And cheat pretty bad. That's the only real difference breaker between the Guardian and other Guardians.
Alright, alright, I'll give you that.
Okay, so do you have other win cons you want to get into?
Yeah, I got maybe one or two more. If you don't mind.
Sure.
You got one or what?
Get into it, my guy.
Want me to go?
Okay. I'll stick with this one con for now until like I might need to give something else.
Alright, I'm gonna argue next. Hercules, and I'll get the scan obviously, but I'm gonna go ahead and just say what he's doing. But he's gonna be like, I'm gonna be arguing, he's gonna pressure point and like make you like paralyzed.
Okay, so Saint-14 is type 8 immortal, and he is type 4 acausal because he's a paracausal being, and that his existence relies off of his ghost. There's that, if you want me to like drop the stuff for like paracausal influence. You want me to drop that stuff too, or like is it kind of
like
okay? So
and like in this scan I sent, I'll just give you the context. Like basically Hercules fighting this beast. This beast is like wilding out. Hercules backflip, it does it and like pressure points him and like makes him stand in some spot like parallel.
I'll go ahead and grant that your character can use pressure points. So now while I get the other shit, Saint-14 also does have a conceptual barrier. So.
All right. Well, I would argue like, since is that going to be something kind of argue or what?
What now?
Like, is that going to be something you're arguing as a defense or what?
Yeah. So I have 3 things I have to counter this. I want to get in the third thing after I get done with the first 2 though. First, I need to like drop like stuff for like paracausality.
That's fine.
So now let me go find. Okay, so let's see here. Where's my paracausal nonsense? Okay. Can manipulate time. Where's my time stuff? Sorry, it's taking me a minute to find my time stuff.
Don't worry.
Because I was mainly dropping other stuff for skill. in the skin chat, so I like probably should like. Oh well, give me a second. Where in the world is my?
I'm surprised not many more people have joined.
Alright, never mind. I've already dropped that shit. I've already talked about Saint-14 having a personal timeline. Never mind. I've already dropped some of that shit.
Oh, I was about to say you did that for the
Yeah, I
speed art.
did.
My bad.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm still pretty tired, so.
I understand, yeah. And that kind of slipped my mind, too. My bad.
Yeah, it did slip my mind. I'm an idiot. Anyway, so. Okay, so. Now, here is Saint-14. Like, basically, the Vex do not know how to, like, treat the light. Since they, like. Okay, hold on. Paracausal. Okay, I'll drop stuff for that. Okay, so let me go get this statement. Okay, so here is a statement from a Vex Hydra.
Okay.
I'll even like do this too. No. Here is a hive mind of the Vex, or an Axis mind directly calling the light and darkness paracausal.
Alright.
The word's highlighted on there since I put it in there as a search filter.
Alright.
Paracausality in Destiny is a different system of causality. So, like, so the normal boundaries of cause and effect don't apply to the Guardian, which is, well, by definition, type 4 causal, so.
Yeah. By definition.
Yeah.
But, so this is, wait. So, yeah.
This is just showing that the Guardian, like, excuse me, that all Guardians in general are, like, type 4 causal.
Alright.
Yeah. Now, Ghost.
But per se, like, maybe I'm confused. I don't know. Like, is this supposed to, like, help prevent from getting pressure or something?
So I'm saying that, like, Saint-14 is type 4 causal, so he could just come back.
Oh.
He works off a different system of causality and has his own personal timeline. Like, so he's not dying anytime soon. Now, for the immortality stuff, that's to do with the fact that even if you do kill him, the ghost will just bring him back to life.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I wouldn't necessarily argue and kill you. I was arguing, like, paralyze him, like he did that.
And the ghost would just heal the Guardian. That's how the Guardian uses the light most of the time, because the ghost allows, like, the Guardian to, like, conduit its power of the light. No.
So I just, like, heal him from being pressure. Like, yeah. It'll heal him up. All right.
Yeah, it'll just heal him, yes. And it works conceptually as well. So there's that. So here's the thing about ghosts. Now, do you want me to drop stuff for barriers? Or...
I mean, this could probably be enough.
Okay, well...
I'll
go ahead and drop shit for barriers anyway, so...
I mean, sure.
Yeah. Okay, so here's a video going over supers, but I want you to keep in mind, like, the HP, right? Whenever you go into the video, you'll notice that there's a white bar, right?
Yeah.
That's your conceptual shield. Your conceptual shield protects your HP, which is the red, once you get down to that point. And basically, like, the ghost essentially regenerates your shield and also your HP. So, like, Saint-14 would literally just be protected by his ghost.
I mean, I would argue, like, Hercules could punch through it since he has conceptual-based attacks himself.
Yeah, and so does other creatures in Destiny.
Yeah.
Yeah, Saint-14 soloed races before. Who has the same potency as hacks as he does.
All right, but let me just kind of ask a quick question.
Well,
Like, let's say for example, yeah, overall, this you can heal from it, and ultimately it won't do much. But would you agree it would actually, if it did hit you, it could affect you at first?
if it even affects him at all because of the barriers.
That's
So
what I
here,
mean. Like your dude doesn't have like direct like resistance to pressure point, does he? I mean, because like you're using like
well, I
immortality and
mean,
healing.
he's an exo. He doesn't have normal joints and whatnot like humans do. You'd have to show your character being able to pressure point a robot.
I'm not making any like major claims like that. I was just like asking a
I
question.
know, I
But
know.
yeah,
He has a
yeah,
direct resistance through the form of his barrier and his other shit that I was talking about.
yeah. Again, I'm just yeah, that's cool. Just making sure we're
Yeah,
on the same
so
page.
okay, what else did I drop here? So like here's two different like scans. Basically, Saint-14 was like talking about his battle with the Vex while he was in the Infinite Forest, well basically dead. So
All right. Well, I'll grant that's fine. I'll grant that then. Like
okay. So is
for
that it?
resistance, that's
Okay, so is that it for win cons?
yeah. That's all I got right now.
Okay, so I have one more win con. So Saint-14 is going to use his attunement of void and go into his void super, which is his sentinel shield. He's gonna shield bash. He's gonna shield bash Hercules to death.
Just shield bash him to death.
Yes, he's gonna shield bash him to death.
Like okay, so you're gonna like is it you gonna rush him and do that?
Yes,
Like
and he's protected by the void. That's his super. He's a Titan of the Titan class. He has access to like the Sentinel shield. So it'll just shield bash your character to the death.
yeah, one sec. I'm just thinking a sec. Won't take too long. I'm just thinking. Cause like that's kind of weird, but cool. That's cool. Yeah, yeah, that's pretty interesting.
Like after we get through this, we can conclude.
All right.
So like
To be fair, I would actually argue, due to the fact, like, since we did agree, like, do you remember this? I don't know if you remember this, but you did agree I can use like comp gear for Hercules.
yeah, I did
Yeah.
agree.
So I'm gonna argue, like, is your guy? Are we gonna say like we're gonna be at a like the distance from each other,
Of
like, right?
course, standard 20 meters. But like even then,
Yeah.
he'll just throw a shield at Hercules to knock him off balance.
Yeah. I was gonna argue though, since Hercules has the helmet of Hades, that's gonna allow him to turn invisible, and you won't be able to see him.
Saint-14 oversees trials. He knows how to deal with hunters. Hunters can go invisible.
Like he, like for example, like
Let me
here's the
let
description.
me go get a couple scans of him overseeing trials of Osiris.
All right.
The strongest and most skilled hunters, titans, and warlocks participate in trials. In trials, anything could happen. There's gonna be characters who use invisibility. There's gonna be characters who use their golden gun, the whole 9 yards, right? He oversees the entirety of trials, which would mean he would have seen hunters a good few times, like go invisible. So he'd already know how to deal with like invisibility. And even then, he's literally soloed the entire race of Fallen. Here's him being the overseer of trials. Also, let me go and get the other shit too.
Nice.
Yeah. Now let me go and let me go and show you. Basically, this is Saint-14 being sent out to go and solo the Fallen Race. After he becomes the leader of the Titans.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, let's see. Anyway, so while I'm doing this, so so is there like any counter to like my claim?
Not inherent.
Okay.
You just want to go to.
Sure. So. And by the way, I will be like dropping like Saint-14 headbutting a kill to death. So like if you see me drop it, don't worry. But anyway, so so in my conclusion, I think I gave a valid win con through the use of the shotgun. Coins agreed that like over time, like the shotgun rounds would just round up whenever I proved the potency of the hacks. In my win con, I've also talked about like Saint-14 being able to bypass durability, and as a side win con, just in case the first one didn't work, since technically I gave 3 with one of them being temporary. I think I gave enough of like I think I gave more than enough to prove that I won. As for Corn's points, I think I refuted the ones I had problems with pretty well. So, you can go ahead and conclude, Corn.
All right. In my conclusion, like for the whole like petrification thing, I did, end up agreeing. Sure, it could potentially be like a form of like transmutation along those lines as well. So you did provide obviously counters to that. However, I would still stick with if like I was able to connect with you with the pressure point, like I would still hold on to that it would like paralyze you and I would be able to like take you out by that. But you did provide a lot of like different ways to counter it and outdo it and like protect yourself from it, et cetera, et cetera. So, and other than that, we both, obviously I provided evidence for my scaling, agreed with that. I agree with yours. And I provided evidence that my dude can at least resist on a conceptual level pretty easily, and even like existence erasure on that level. And other than that, give it to them, to the judges.
Go ahead, Judge.
Like, I can't judge. I only came in here halfway in.
Who was here the entire time?
Hey, what's
up,
Ghost and Sakura was.
Oh.
Yeah.
You want Judge?
Sure.
Sakura was here for a good time, I think. I don't know if he's listening.
Yeah, but anyway, Ghost, go ahead and
go. Okay, can you do a brief recap for me? Conclusions again?
Okay, so, Courtney and I, do you need me to, like, state my conclusion?
Yeah.
Okay, so, I just said in my conclusion that, like, I think I gave valid enough objections to the things I had actual problems with, and I gave, like, more than enough win cons to basically give me the win, since I basically, like, refuted his win cons.
Yeah, mine was, while I did agree, he did provide good evidence for, like, protecting himself, and especially, like, countering, like, petrification as well. And, like, I would still argue, though, if I could land that pressure point, I would still hold on to, like, it would, like, potentially paralyze you.
Well, to be accurate, I didn't want to say this when you're concluding, but I said if it were to work at all, because I brought up the barriers, the immortality, and then, like, the causality, so I said if it were to even work at all, so...
And he said it could work. He's a robot, so, like, he doesn't have joints.
Yeah, I did say that
I said
too.
Potentially, yeah, I already admitted, like, you brought up counters and stuff. I'm just saying it's still a potential, like, thing.
So,
either way,
anyway,
though.
Yeah, but anyway, so who's here the entire time? Ghost?
Yeah, I was here the entire time.
Okay, you want to judge?
Yeah. Okay, so basically, from what I heard, I heard about your points about the basically Hercules being able to transform him into stone. I did hear that he countered it with Ghost, which it does heal you. So I would actually give that to Noctis because the Ghost does. It basically restores you to your natural state.
Basically, his way to conduct the light through his veins.
Yeah. I do think your skilling, Corn, was very good with Hercules, especially this version of Hercules.
Thank you.
But he did give more win cons and counters to yours. So I do think Primus is in the win here.
All right.
It was
I accept
actually
that.
It's a team debate.
Oh, good game, bro. Good debate.
Yeah, so. Anyone else here the entire time? No one? Okay, so. I guess that's it then. Okay, so.
Wait, so who won?
I did.
The rotten